at the numbers?
No, not off the top of my head. I haven't looked at, but I mean, you'd
They're
be shocked, I'm sure. Astronomical.
astronomical.
It is.
Astronomical. If you would just Google that, look at the amount of missing people right in real time. So here's my question to you. You and I worked that case. Her body was found and a skeleton remains a year later. People are found. But you're telling me you have all these missing people that just vanish and they're never found, Steve Strickland?
Yeah, there's a lot of places out there to hide bodies.
Ah, come on, man. There are a lot of hikers, hunters, mushroomers. Come on.
Yeah, I can't. I can't. No, I always say there's no intelligent life anywhere else because they haven't asked the United States for any money. So otherwise, we'd be paying for studies in gender studies on Jupiter or something.
Just food for thought,
Yeah.
guys. I can't explain the missing people. I can't. I just cannot explain the amount of missing people in the U.S. And I know that sounds a little kooky, but Rich, you and I talked about it intensely.
Yeah, you actually knew somebody who
Where do they go?
swore up and down he was a lizard
Where do the
man.
people go?
Good question. I mean, Steve's right. There's a lot of hiding spots, but I mean, you just to me, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But is it possible?
See, at least one person says I'm not cuckoo, guys.
It's possible. I mean, that guy you put on the phone with me that night, he was a pretty convincing guy.
Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I got to interrupt you. I know I don't mean to. Someone just Googled it. It's 600,000 that go missing on a consistent basis. 600,000 people. Is that a lot of people?
I mean,
Is that in the U.S. or worldwide?
U.S., I'm assuming.
it's about 500,000 less than there are people in the city of Orlando.
That's still a lot of people, though.
That's half of the city missing.
That's crazy, guys.
600,000 people.
Where do they vanish to? And I'm not, look, hold on. I'm not saying this is going to open up two topics, Steve and Rich. I'm not saying that a little flying saucer came down and took little Amy or Miss Poe that's missing. I'm not saying that at all. But do we have is it human trafficking? Is it serial kidnapping and abductors? Is it something nefarious that has connections to this UFO thing that Congress is being briefed on? I mean, those are my questions.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I mean, Steve, you missed the story the other night about Deborah Poe, the missing thing, and that's where you came up with the serial. One of them, it's two brothers. One of them was a serial rapist, and the other one was a serial unaliver. And it's really interesting, actually, because I'd been wondering about that case for forever.
Yeah, I remember the case.
But
I know.
Jamie, he knows everybody, so he knew a guy that claims he was half lizard. I'm telling you, Steve, I listened to him, and he had me just impressed.
That guy was scary.
I like the part where he said he was a smart lizard, and you
That guy
weren't.
was scary.
Crystal, I know you have questions about GPS. We can't, unless we have the car, we can't use the GPS. There's no way to track somebody's GPS in and out of an area unless we have the car itself to know whether it was there. So it's not like the satellites keep track of the towers and everything do, but there's no way for us we can't just pull GPS from somebody's car without having the car.
I like these comments. I'm a unicorn.
I just got a text. I'm not going to tell you the text is from. Wink, wink, with a nod. Hypothetically, a program was built for the FBI that, in real time, they could translate 6 million conversations at a time from
Wow.
metadata and stuff that's coming in. 6 million conversations at a time. That's crazy. So the technology is getting better.
Yeah, I mean, we had technology when I was in the gang unit where we could set up a geofence around a certain area and anytime and put a couple of words in there, and anytime those specific words were used on a social media platform, we knew whose it was coming from. Everything. I mean, it's the technology that people would be amazed if they knew what was actually out there being used. And it's not, something that, we don't do this just to, it's like, for instance, I used to tell people, a lot of people with elderly folks with dementia and stuff like that, get a GPS tracker, get this tracking device. We don't turn it on unless they go missing. So we're not tracking their moves. We're not doing anything until it's needed. And so that's how a lot of this technology is used. We're not doing anything nefarious with it until it's necessary. If we're looking for, an investigation into a pew-pewing or an unaliving, that's when we're using this technology, not for, hey, what's Jamie saying today on social media?
I mean, it's out there. I mean, Rich Brown, I made a lot of cases and connected the dots using a Stingray. That's common information. All you have to do is Google it. I mean, it's out there, so it's not any great secret, but we would take a van and park it near the bad guy's house, and that van would contain a receiver and a transmitter, and any cell phones that were being triggered within a certain amount of area is going to go to the van rather than the cell tower, because it picked up the stronger signal, right? It made it stronger, so it absorbed the signals before the tower. And I got to tell you, man, we connected a lot of dots off of using the Stingray. The technology is there. So back to my question, guys, on the Nancy Guthrie case, are they not applying the technology, or we're just not seeing it?
I think we're just not seeing it.
We know the technology is there. We know it exists.
Yeah. And I can't imagine, if I know that it exists, I can't imagine a large city in one of the most populous states in the middle of the country doesn't know that it exists. So I'm hopeful. I think that's what Rich was saying. I'm hopeful that that's the case, that they're just not telling us. And to me, I mean, that's a good thing, because here I am blabbing about the technology on social media. I'm kind of glad that if it is the case, they're not getting on there and going, hey, this is how we're tracking you. We got you. We know what you're doing. So I'm glad they don't use that information. I'm hoping that's what it is.
Well, I mean, just to preface everything, we've not given up anything that's anything classified as secret,
Right,
or top secret. I mean, it's all on the open AI. I mean, there's some stuff that we've seen that you can't discuss because it is secret. And that, even without even going into that, Steve and Rich, the technology's there. So why in the hell is Sheriff Nanos, why haven't they solved this case? That's concerning.
You hope that they're using this stuff. You hope that they are, but there's so many other things that they haven't done. I'm not being Mr. Naysayer, because it does sound like that, because they haven't done so many other things. But is it not true that everything we've discussed in the last 5 minutes, these are things we would have discussed if we were working, and we would have done them? We would have tried to do that. But it doesn't. And I hope they are listening, or somebody listens and tells them, hey, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Because nobody is so smart that they know everything. So take some advice from some people.
But guys, going back to several weeks back, I mean, the FBI digital collection team was on the ground. They flew in from Quantico. So, I mean, one can only pray that all this is being utilized, and we just haven't seen the results, because they're just not connecting the dots. I'm concerned. I'm concerned with these emails, these ransom letters. I have to buy in that at least 3 of those I believe are real, and especially the last one.
worth a shot.
So, all right, Steve and Rich, I'm gonna put something on you here. We're gonna change up the live as we progress here. We're gonna maybe come up with some segments. What do you guys think about? And community, listen up, and we'll put this kind of in a story so you guys can chime in and let us know. People want to see a little bit more behind the scenes, if you will. So we're going to maybe, as we do these lives, we'll break it up in a little bit of segments, and we may call one of these Behind the Badge. Kind of like real stories, real calls, and what actually happens when the lights come on, right? When you start these cases, what really goes in behind the scenes, if you will. We've covered a little bit of that. Getting a lot of people wanting more war stories in the field. Between the three of us, we have a ton of those. We don't like telling the war stories, but we have people wanting to hear more about them. They like the real stuff. They like the raw stories. That's two. And then, Steve, I think what we're going to do is alternate. If you guys, we'll talk about it off air, but community, what we're thinking about also doing is roll call stories. Maybe break down a couple stories that are in the news fresh every day, every time we go live, and just do a really quick roll call, and we'll divide it up between the three of us and kind of cover those cases as that's coming in real time that's in the news, and just kind of give a blurb about a couple, three of those cases as we do the live. And then I have a couple more examples, but Rich, what's your feeling on that? We're kind of break the live up in segments and at least give some of those topics that people can bite on.
I think it's very interesting, honestly, and that way you actually learn what's going on in the world around you. So if Steve took some, I took some, you took some, and we put these stories out there, everybody in the audience would actually learn about them as well. And some of them, I think, honestly, are people out here could actually solve.
Steve, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think, especially like as a follow up to the story we talked about the other night on Saturday about the kid that had the in the suitcases. I saw something today where they actually said this kid had lists that he was actually after predators, and that he had a list of predators that he was planning to unalive. So this looks like they may have caught a serial guy before he got started.
And guys in the chat, if you like those ideas, can you light this thing up with blue hearts to kind of let's see where we're at, if you guys are in agreements with that, because guys, I always say this is not our show, it's their show, it's their community, and we want to bring the best to the community. So if you like what you're hearing in these segment ideas, if we're seeing some blue hearts, light those things up with blue hearts. I will tell you, full transparency, wasn't my idea, guys, it was my daughter's idea. And she's like, hey, you guys may want to break this up in a couple other segments. People want to hear these other behind the scenes and the roll calls and the stories and the war stories. The only thing I haven't covered are the wigs. I don't know if I can. I'll make a deal with you. If I can get Steve Strickland in a wig, I may dress up.
You said that. You did say that the other day.
I may dress up.
Steve?
I don't know that I have any.
Well, I hope you don't, my friend, because
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not.
concerned.
Yeah, because no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not making any U-turns up and down the trail, so I don't have anything that.
Am I the only person that has wigs on hand?
I mean, I'm just saying.
I think there's something wrong with you, buddy.
I mean, we're not getting into lifestyles or anything like
All right.
that.
In the interest of honesty, I borrowed those from my daughter.
That's what I would say too.
And she threatened me. She said, don't you tear these up.
I have to have a statement or have her on here to verify that, because I think there's something. I think there's something we don't know about you.
Yeah, that would be my story. I would. Yep, my daughter. Those are my daughters.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I would too. Don't change it, because if you change it, we'll know.
She may actually even be on here. Help me out here, please.
I'm gonna laugh when she comes up and says she has no idea what you're talking about.
I would click off and click.
You go.
I seriously, I'm not going to try to convince you to because y'all are unconvincible. But I did borrow those from one of my daughters.
But here's the problem. You don't have one, Rich. You have like a collection. That's concerning.
I needed more than one, and I
That's
can't
concerning.
I didn't want to wear the same one, so I have different ones.
I mean, people are saying that I have disdain for wigs. I didn't start the wig thing. I find it very creepy that you just appear with different. Steve, he's been on here with like 3 or 4 different wig things.
I think I've seen 3 for sure.
I don't know about
that's
that.
great. Unbelievable. Thank you, Simone, by the way, for sticking up for me. It's only one sticking up for me.
Yeah, somebody said at least 3.
Oh, there's Jen sticking up for me too.
So guys, it's not my thing. I think it's concerning that Rich just can, boom, grab a wig and put it on and peace out, baby.
You guys should have seen it in the day. That was probably an upgrade from what we used to look like.
I don't know. Man.
I've seen some of those pictures. I've seen pictures of Mr. Copenhaver and some when he was back in the day.
You want to hear a funny story?
But that was a job,
My mother.
Steve. Hold on.
Oh no! I
That was a
understand
job.
that. Right? No, I get it.
I didn't elect to do that. I was ordered to do that.
Right.
You want to hear something funny? My mother used to introduce me to her neighbors. I swear to you guys. She'd be, "This is my son. Don't worry about him. He's an undercover drug agent." Every single person she ever introduced me to, because she was so embarrassed because I look like a hippie with long hair and a big beard and the earrings. She used to do that all the time.
You look like Charles Manson.
So did you. But she was so, and I knew it inside. She was embarrassed about me. I'd be like, "Wow, I didn't know you were so embarrassed about me." It was awful.
See, what's the funniest thing you ever done in your career that you can talk about that's the statute of limitations have ran out? You've got to have something that just sticks with you.
I mean, I trust me. I did lots of stuff that I would probably get fired for today. I mean, you talk about back in the day, Crown Vics only had 5 keys that were made to fit Crown Vics. So we would go around and unlock each other's cars and drive them around the corner and hide them from each other. I took an envelope and filled it full of dried oatmeal and taped it over a buddy's visor. So when he put his visor down, the oatmeal powder got all over him. I've done OC spray on the hood vent. So in the middle of the winter when they turn on the car, the heater sucks in the OC spray.
So mad I didn't think of that one.
We'd go to the shredder machine and take the bags of shredded paper and put them in people's cars.
And the crickets.
No, never did the crickets. I've done rocks in the hubcaps. Rocks.
You people didn't realize they got to do this to each other. It's a brutal, brutal environment.
Whistlers, zip-tied whistlers to the bottom of the car, so when they're driving, it's whistling the whole time they're driving. And no idea where it's coming from.
That one either. That was a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, definitely. There's plenty of stuff that you do it today, and you're sitting in professional standards waiting on your discipline. So
It'd be on YouTube.
I stuck a fake snake in a supervisor's car once, and I've never seen someone, and this is embarrassing. I'm not going to give a name, so I'm going to tell you. He screamed. He was so mad at me. I thought he was going to get me. He was so horrified of snakes that he refused. I kept telling him, "It's fake, it's fake." He wouldn't even go and take it out of his car. I had to go get it out of his car. It's crazy.
I just no snakes, man. I can't do snakes.
That's right. You don't like them either.
No,
Thanks for reminding me.
Shots fired.
Thanks for reminding me.
Hey, I had a matter of fact, I'm going to confess something. A couple, 3 weeks ago, I had my dear friend, and I love this lady. She was my very first sergeant, Diane Clark. We had her on the show, guys. Remember her? She had a corporal that I didn't like, and we were trying to get rid of this corporal, and just a hard nosed corporal. You turn a report in, and it would be full of red ink, and I didn't care what level of college you came from. You couldn't escape this person, right? So I had enough of it. So I ended up getting this. Caught her parked at her favorite coffee shop one morning, and I got a flex tie, guys. There's zip ties. They're really, really super long, right? They're like 4 foot long. So I parked my car like a half a mile away, and I walked up. It's early, early in the morning, and I walked up with a flex cuff, and I crawled underneath her patrol car, and I took that flex cuff, that zip tie, and I tied it around her drive shaft. And I cut
That's good.
I cut the tail like this long, right? So when that drive shaft goes,
Yeah.
it'll click, 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 click. Well, the faster it goes, it'll click, 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 right? So I went down and sat at a corner, and I waited and I waited. Here she comes. And I swear, right in front of where I was hiding, she stops and she says, "County, I think I may need a tow truck. There's something wrong with my car." Well, what's wrong with it? Well, it's making a transmission noise. It's clicking. And she would drive it, and she was having the microphone. You could hear it going. So the maintenance guy get on the radio is like, "Stop driving the car. Just stop. We're sitting a man." They launched it. As far as I know, it has never been solved to this day, and the statute of limitations have ran out. They never figured out who did that, but it cost a tow bill. It cost a lot, but man. Thank goodness I didn't get caught on that one. Click, 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 click,
Yeah.
click, click.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Well, there was a time back in the day where OC spray was not considered a use of force. So you didn't have to write it as a use of force. So we've sprayed people in the back of patrol cars that were going to jail just to mess with the deputy that had to transport them to jail. I mean, they were acting up, so you could spray them for it, but they had to drive to the
That
jail.
stuff was. I had a can explode on me once.
Well, the 99 Crown Vics had an issue where the hubcaps would fall off, and we'd have to do a what do you call it? Green sheet. Had to do a green sheet to have it replaced. Well, that was stupid. I mean, it was a known issue with the Ford Crown Vic, the 99 Crown Vic. So when I worked in the north end of the sector or the zones, and the jail was around the corner from Fleet at 3:00 in the morning, you had access to get in there because if you had to drop your car off overnight or something. So we'd go in and maybe replace hubcaps so that we didn't have to do a green sheet, replace end caps on the lights. I had a trainee back, you know how at an apartment gate, they have at the call box, they have those two concrete poles next to it so you don't run it over. So he backs up, cuts it too hard, cracks the marker light on the left side of the car. So we go back to the office to do some stuff, and somebody happened to be on vacation. Well, somebody else happened to be on vacation, and their car happened to be sitting in the parking lot. So we traded out marker lights, and of course, then the funny part is, I told my corporal, I'm like, "Hey, this happened." He says, "Well, so and so's car is down in the parking lot. Just trade it out." And I said, "No, we already did that." So we did. We did some stupid stuff.
I remember when we used to get our undercover cars, we used to be able to order these really cool cars, like brand new Mustangs and stuff like that. And then we wouldn't drive them when we were working undercover because we didn't want somebody to throw a brick at them or scratch them. Remember that? So we'd go get a pool car and drive it around.
Yep. When my dad was at MBI, he had a, a Ford Thunderbird.
Yeah, I remember those.
And he did the same thing. He'd drive it to and from work, but when he was at work, it didn't get driven.
Yeah, I had a Ford Pro one time, Steve.
Oh, you sure did. You sure did.
That car was fast.
You almost unalived me in that car. A couple times. You drove that thing like a go-kart.
It was a go-kart. They do really well when it's wet.
You know what's amazing about that car, honestly, is it won't flip.
How do you know that?
Well, I'm going to tell that story. We're going down the expressway one time, and he used to sit there and he used to give me this stupid look. Only you probably know what it is, Steve. That stupid look he gives you, where he looks at you and gives you that little tilt of his head. Well, he used to drive around in this little Ford Probe, and he'd yank the emergency brake up, and we'd go spinning out of control.
It was
All
like
the
an
time.
e-ticket.
It was raining. So we're going down the expressway, and we're going probably 110 miles an hour, something like that. We were flying. It was a big storm, too. And he gave me that stupid look. Well, I knew he wasn't going to pull the emergency brake up because it would have killed us. So he gave me that stupid look. I was like, I was being a tough guy. I'm like, go ahead. He ripped that emergency brake up immediately. We're spinning around at 100 and something miles an hour. I'm like, holding on. I'm getting sick from the spinning. And then all we see is these blue lights as we're spinning. Blue lights. Every time we go around, blue lights. And then it slowed down enough. It was like, oh no, it's Commander's car. It's Commander's car. He takes his gun and his badge out and he just sets it on the dash. He's like, we're done. We're fired. I'm like, well, maybe not. We got lucky. I'm not going to say who it was, but he came out and he goes, it's you guys.
It was
And
Mark
he let us.
Strawbridge.
Why are you putting his name out like that? Because he saved our life.
Yeah.
He goes, don't you ever tell anybody that I saw this. It was exactly what he said. And he let us go. He probably should have fired
That
us.
thing was like an e-ticket at Disney, Steve. It would fly. And that brake, it'd sit right there and you just zip and it go.
And
It
it
was
drove
crazy.
over medians too, even though it was so low to the ground. It drove over medians. He did all kinds of stuff with that car.
It was fun.
Uh-huh.
All right. So, guys, in the chat, the next day or two, we'll start divvying up some of this stuff on these segments. Steve, I think it's a great idea. Rich, I know you got it.
You see that? As a retired deputy sheriff, I approve this content.
See, this is good content, guys. It was approved by a former deputy or a deputy.
Now, I know he has some stories to tell too.
So we'll start bringing those segments. We'll figure out a timing for them. Maybe we'll open it up. Steve, I'll let you figure that out. You're good at organizing it, but we'll open it up with a segment. We'll talk about what we're going to talk about and just kind of go through the flow and do it in segments. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think it kind of, gives us a natural pause inside of the stream and kind of gives everybody something to look forward to within, not just one thing going on, but multiple little, segments to allow people to kind of take a breath and recover from what we talk about and move on to something else. And so, yeah, I think it's a great idea.
And Rich, I don't know, Steve, I'm afraid to say anything because I'm going to get called out again by someone. And it's just, do we have a wig segment or a fashion show part of this segment, or what do we do here, Rich?
I'm just going to go wait out front. I got my hands together already because they can't get them behind my back because of my shoulder. But I'm just going to wait for them to come pick me up. I have a ride coming.
We could have the Rich session could be like, what was it on Saturday Night Live? The Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
Yeah, I remember that.
So we could just do the Rich segment, the wig segment, and he could just have some deep thoughts in his wigs.
All right, guys, listen. When you do that job for so many years, you got to admit, you do get a little bit crazy. Yeah. Oh, don't even try that. I know. I'm not. I'll start telling some of the Jamie stories if you keep that up.
Hasn't
Just admit
affected
it.
you one bit, buddy. Steve has
Oh,
known me his
whatever.
whole life down here. I'm the same guy as I've always been.
You know, my daughter's first words were when she had a child, "You better not make my child crazy." Is exactly what she said to me. But even my grandkids, you could ask JC, they're half nuts too, just because of their poor grandpa. And I try not to be. but it's hard to stop doing that.
I'm just reading some of the comments. All right, guys, so we'll pull this off. We'll get it organized in the next day or two. And I have a big timeline, guys, Steve. Today is Monday. We should be able to roll this out by Wednesday, Thursday with the segments and have it timed and give us enough to do a little research. And
Yeah,
Thursday good enough?
I'd say Thursday. Like I said, Wednesday nights are bad for me. And which it's supposed to pour down Wednesday night, unless it pours down the rain, I should be here Wednesday if it's really bad outside. Otherwise, Wednesday I'll be out of the loop for a little bit. So, but yeah, I would say by Thursday I'll have everything knocked down where I can get it messages to you guys and kind of set up our timeline for the segments.
All right, Rich, you have anything?
Nope. I think that's going to be awesome, actually. I think I'll enjoy that.
Yeah, I think it's going to break it up. And great job to Alondra for thinking of that. I think it's an excellent idea. And Steve, everybody in the chat, I mean, if you have ideas on what you want us to bring, throw us a message. We'll try to make that happen. I don't know if Colleen's in here, but she's working desperately to get that list of experts so we can have experts on call that we can just phone them up. Hey, this is happening. We need you on the show tonight at 8 o'clock. And I think if we run it that way, we'll have some good quality experts on hand for whatever we need in terms of what may happen. We don't know. I mean, I've got a couple SWAT guys. Steve, you've got a Secret Service guy that I'm really interested in. Would love to hear from your Secret Service guy.
Yeah, let me give Andy a shout. And he's actually he's done local stuff. So he's worked here for the city of Orlando. Also works at another local agency with Secret Service for a couple of years. So very knowledgeable. He's in touch, just like with Alex we talked to last night or Saturday night. Very in touch with some high level people. And so he has a lot of good information, and I had him on my podcast a couple of times. He really knows his stuff. So yeah, let me reach out to Andy and
great guy.
See what we can do about getting him on here. And he may be one of those ones that doesn't have TikTok, so I may have to get him on the phone, but definitely very interesting. Literally when we work together, every conversation we have is just we'll sit there and talk for hours as long as we're not needed, just about everything that he's done and I've done, and just a very interesting individual and loves what he does, and very patriotic and very intelligent. Just knows a bunch about everything.
Yep. And Rich has got the end on the military side. I don't know if we can some way convince his brother
that can help he can get me quite a few people.
Yeah. So guys. So Colleen's working on that. Stay with us. We want to make sure we have good quality people to bring on that can answer the hard questions. And as far as the Discord, there is no more Discord, guys. We have a Telegram channel. The Telegram link is on my bio. It's a link that will not expire. So we worked around that and got a permanent link for the Telegram channel. It's a small group and it's building every day. So join that Telegram chat. It's set up in categories, and we're going to add to that as we go. Rich, anything before we close out?
Nope. I have nothing else for you. I'm actually hurt right now because of the wig comments. So.
Why are you look at that? The wig comments they're true.
You guys make fun of my hairdos.
Well, I mean, and we've got you on that end too. You can probably bring us some people in that can talk about wearing wigs, and Jamie's right. We could have a fashion segment just for Rich. Rich's followers, everybody on here that follows Rich, we'll just get the fashion segment going.
Coco, is there anything you want to talk about?
No, but I just want to tell one last story. When I first went undercover, we're driving down the trail. This is a true story. I'm looking at this guy that's dragging his leg as he's walking down the trail. And I'm like, look at that dirtbag. And then the guy that was with me goes, you know that's Sergeant so. I couldn't get it out. That's Sergeant so and so. I'm like, no. 2 hours later, he's sitting in the office. I'm like,
Stinky.
you've got to be. And I was sitting there the whole time sweating bullets, thinking he's going to tell him I said he was a dirtbag. Dead serious.
That was Stinky.
Yes, it was.
Stinky.
Why do you keep having to give these names up? Because now if he watches, he's going to be like, yeehaw.
We may have to get Stinky on here one night.
He would be a good one, honestly.
Yeah. And here's one more thing in closing. And Steve, I'm going to defer to you, but you know, a lot of people don't. We see the news cycle, right? We see the Nancy Guthrie case play out. We see some of these detectives and personnel assigned to do certain things. What I really want to do is bring on good quality people that can kind of go in. We have Rick Lawler, right? Homicide guy, career homicide detective. You know, I want to start maybe getting some canine people on, some bomb techs. Andy Lazaration's a great guy from SWAT. He's wanting to come on. So, you know, as we progress, we want to bring people in, and that's where it goes a little bit behind the badge and what it takes to maybe perform these certain duties. We all see canine bites and sniffing dogs, right? Well, what goes into that program? You know, how much training and it's kind of where we're wanting to go with that, I think, to get people a little bit behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, I stay in touch with a lot of guys. I was very fortunate to have friends in all of those units, and actually had a couple of guys that worked for me that were part of specialty units. So, yeah, reaching out to those guys is no big deal, and I think it brings a little bit to it because, again, it goes to helping people understand law enforcement a lot better. You know, what goes on and what we do and why we do things that we do or why we don't do things. You know, because you think a lot of times, you know, you watch something and they're like, oh, well, he was going to cut me with this. And why didn't you just use the taser? And it's like, well, it's not the be all end all. And I can show you some photos of some people that have tried it and failed. So,
or why
so
didn't
you
just shoot him in the arm?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really gives people some insight, you know, and that's why I was trying to do my podcast, you know, it's not going to work out right now, but yeah, definitely we'll get people in here that know their stuff and really help people understand what goes on in the life, you know, not the ones you see on the news that are causing all the problems, but that there's actually great people out there that do this job and do it well.
Yeah, that's true.
Couldn't be easy.
And then the last thing we're going to close. I've got. I'm going to reach out to a couple of former 911 operators. Right, we always hear these dreadful 911 calls and dispatchers, but want to reach out to a couple of the 911 operators that we know, and maybe have one of those 911 call takers on the live one night to go over the amount of stress and what it takes to, especially if it's an in progress violent crime. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that, right? And so I want to make sure we address the communication center because those folks don't get any credit. You never see them on TV. You never see them getting credit for anything. And Steve and Rich, if it wasn't for the 911 call takers, the police departments throughout the world would not operate. So we have to get
Not only that, imagine sitting behind a desk. You can't be there, but you're sitting there holding your breath the whole time. That would be, to me, that's kind of more stressful than actually going to the call.
Yeah, because they don't get to see what's happening.
Correct.
Yeah.
We have Slada Gray. Her husband's been a call 911 call taker for 15 years. Arlene in here, retired 911 dispatcher. So, you know, we have those folks right here in the community. So that's who we're going to draw from. But like I said, we've got. I want to give people credit where credit's due, and a lot of these folks just don't get the acknowledgement, guys. And we want to change that and do our part.
And we want to give Rich the credit he's due for putting up with you as a partner for all the years no, I'm sorry. I didn't. Yeah. I'm sorry, Jamie. That wasn't on my text messages. I'm not.
Thanks,
I'm gonna
Steve.
have-
I
I'm gonna have
appreciate
to
it. It
call-
was a job in itself.
I'm going to have
It
to
was a
call
job.
Chris and see if I can get him to tell me what you guys are texting about.
No, I was talking about the text messages you send me for the shows, that what I can and can't say.
Ah,
Like this one here says I'm supposed to say on a regular basis, Jamie is my best friend and treats me well.
That's the same one I get all the time. He is my mentor, is the other one. He's my mentor.
He did say the other night that he has to mentor us.
Uh-huh.
you guys are top dogs, man. I don't know what. Nobody believes that.
If you folks only knew him back in the day. Unbelievable.
I don't know who's.
Jamie,
texting
you did
this.
provide me a lot of laughs. I will say that. You did. Some of the stuff you did.
That's what I was going to say is, somebody earlier said he's not crazy, but
He is.
yeah, no, he's got a few screws loose, and it's fortunate because I don't think that I would have made it through field training without him having a few screws loose, because it made it easy and fun as opposed to me being stressed out the whole time.
But shouldn't the job be fun?
Absolutely.
It was fun.
And that's why, these days it's not, I don't think. I still talk to a lot of guys, and unfortunately the fun has been taken out of it because of video cameras and liberal administrations that would rather punish you than see you do a good job.
They're different now too. Jamie and I have talked about this. They're just different. When you stop and talk to a deputy, there's no I don't know what, no camaraderie. I mean,
Exactly.
It doesn't exist anymore at all.
Yeah, there's
It's
no
like so weird.
Yeah, we all used to hang out, and we all, on the weekends, on our days off, we go to the lake, we'd go to people's houses for barbecues. And my first job as a sergeant, our Christmas party, we went to a restaurant for the Christmas party. And of course, we'd done that, in the past when I was a deputy. And then after that, we all went out and did whatever. And, I had two guys come to me at the party, and they're like, "All right, Sarge, we're headed out to the club." And I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute. This is the squad thing." And they're like, "Nah, it's, our club time. We got it." And from there on out, I realized, man, it is just not the same. There's not that brotherhood anymore.
So we had a bar in Orlando called Choir Practice. You guys remember that? It was nothing but
Yes,
cops.
I do.
Yep.
I mean, that was a good place to go hang. But you're right. Things have changed. Policing has changed.
Yeah.
It's not as fun as it was.
Yeah, I saw something the other day. It said, when you're discouraging proactive policing, you're not helping your department, you're helping criminals. And I thought, yep, that's exactly what's going on these days. They've curbed the proactive policing because they don't want to be on the news for, the traffic stops that turn ugly on camera. And, no fault of the cops, but, they just get tired of people making complaints about stupid stuff, and so they just rather you not do anything.
Yeah, I mean, unless you ride around with Coco with a wig, I mean, that was always a hoot.
Jamie used to drive up.
I gotta call your wife, man. I gotta call her.
You're not talking to her ever again. He used to do the crazy. One of these days, Steve, I'll tell you some of the crazy things that guy did. You wouldn't even believe me if I told you. Wouldn't believe me.
Gotta
And
get
look
the
at
job
him.
done.
Uh-huh. Shows up in a suit and tie for like 3 days and just Mr. Myron. And I was just shook my head. I couldn't believe it. I was so mad that I had to work with him.
Steve, if you were going to a new unit, when you dress up in a nice suit and tie?
Ron Chapman comes up to me and goes, "You got to train him."
On the unit.
Ron Chapman goes, "You got to train him." I'm like, "No." He goes, "Yes, you are." I was so mad. And then for 3 days, he tortured me. Just tortured me. He's like, "Hi, how are you today?" And then that third day, the third end of the third day, it was like the roller skates came off and the hair flew up, and he was a maniac.
I
I was
wore a
like, "Is this
suit.
the same guy?"
I dressed appropriately. I wore a suit and tie.
Then he was just plain straight up nuts, Steve. Just nuts. I was like shocked. I didn't even know how to act after that. That's why I'm kind of nuts today.
We had a rule in the gang unit that if you got it from your desk and you left your computer open, if you told somebody to watch it, you were good. Nobody could touch it. But if you didn't say nothing, it was fair game.
Oh, that's
So we would
mean.
send
Tell
out
him your story.
emails, and one day one of the guys left his phone sitting on his desk, so we changed our analyst's name in his phone to one of the chief deputies, and we said, "Hey, do me a favor, can you call Lindy and run this guy and see if we got files on him?" And he called and spoke to one of the chiefs, and needless to say, we were talked to.
That's good. Well,
Opened up
was it the undersheriff? Yeah, it was the undersheriff, right? Jamie, when we put that commode in was it Gimple's office?
It was a good addition to his office. It was a green toilet. It
was the nastiest looking thing you ever saw. And we're driving down the road. We're like, there's got to be something good we can do with this.
We did.
We loaded it up and brought it back to the office. And you got to imagine all these people sitting around at desks. We snuck that thing in there and picked the lock to Gimple's office, removed his chair, and stuck this green commode behind his seat. And we got out of there. Nobody saw us. At least that's what I think. And he shows up with the undersheriff for a meeting in his office. We're like, oh no.
That toilet looked perfect. It was green.
It was lime green. The look on his face, we knew we were dead. And everybody started pointing at us afterwards. Of course, we denied it.
Well, speaking of the narcotics office, so around the holidays, we still had to work, but the narcotics guys didn't work. So, you know, you have the air conditioning vents that they're like the square, and then they go out bigger, and then they go up towards the roof. So we took a can of tuna fish and opened it up, and the heat's on in the building. So we knew this is our last day of work. The heat's on, so we took the tuna fish can and put it up on that. And let me tell you, when we came back to work,
that
was a rough building to be in.
Ooh.
Opened up a can of clear out and threw it in the bathroom while somebody was in there, and then held the door shut.
Oh,
those were good days. They don't do that anymore.
Nope, you can't.
They will not do that. Tell them about the desk, Jamie. You have to. Tell them about the desk.
Well, I had a partner that liked to harass me. And he had, the staplers. You open that stapler up and you pop somebody with it. I had like 4 staples in my knee. And I'm like, you need to stop. I'm like, that hurts. He's like, I'm like, I'm telling you, you better stop. And I'd be doing something, and I'd hear that staple, bam, right in my knee. I had like 4 or 5 staples in my knees. And I'm like, I said, I told you, you went too far. Let me tell you what I did. I went, me and my buddy and I, we got that really heavy duty wire, that silver baling wire for hay. And went in the office one night at about 2:00 in the morning, and I took everything on that guy's desk and I got super glue and I glued everything down on the desk. Everything. Whatever was on that desk, it got super glued so it wouldn't come off. We turned that guy's desk upside down and we hoisted it up in the ceiling and we tied everything that was upside down and we left. Oh my God.
They were mad about that one.
The director launched an investigation. No one fessed up. And they were getting pretty serious about it. They ought to call them. Of course, I got a couple of those guys. I'm like, hey, we can help you get it down. The director's like, no one touches it until tech service. He called a crime scene unit to come and process it for fingerprints. I'm like, oh, this may be it again. But man, he treated that like a crime scene. And I'm like, we're done. I guess we need to go confess our sins to the director. So I did. I did the right thing. I knocked on his door, and our legal lawyer was there, and he's like, "Oh, we've been waiting for you." Right? They knew. They had a video. It was all videoed.
You
But
know,
the joke
that's
was
funny
on
how
me.
they knew it was us on the
They
commode.
weren't happy about it, but man, I thought I was going to get in trouble on that one. Video busted us.
Fine line.
You just never know.
Yeah, I
All right,
thought-
guys. Thank you very much for being here. Kind of all over the map tonight, but I thought it was fun. Did you guys like it, Steve? Rich?
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit
I
different
enjoyed
tonight. And we'll be back here in 2 nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll get that new segment thing rolled out for you guys and bring that on to you. And Steve, can never thank you enough. Very grateful and humble that you give us the time to be here and a part of this thing.
I'm glad to be here.
Very humbled and grateful for you, even though you have maybe this weird thing going on in the back of your mind.
Can I video this? Hold on. I want to video you saying you're grateful for me.
Okay. You ready?
I'm kidding.
No, I am grateful for your time. You guys bring a lot to this thing. If it wasn't for you guys, this thing would be it would be just me. So I think teamwork is dream work. You like that one? And you guys bring a lot of good
invented
stuff to the table. It's about to get deep, someone says. But anyway, Rich, they have counseling. All you need to do, I'm sure you have insurance. If you have a problem that you want to talk about, Steve's always available. Call Steve, and he'll keep that
Gotcha.
secret.
Gotcha. I appreciate that. You guys are just looking out for me.
Mental health is important.
Your mental health is important. Steve will be your counselor. I'm
Gotcha.
just-
Gotcha.
All right, guys. Much love to you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the group. Thank you for the chats. And guys, we got up to about 229,000 tonight. Another amazing night. And we'll see you on the next time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So look out for the stories. We'll break the segments down in the next couple of days ago. And Godspeed, much love, and thank you all.
Sounds good.
Good night,
See you
everybody.
guys. Good
Bye,
night.
guys. Thank you. Good night. Much love, and thank you all.
Sounds good.
Good night,
See you
everybody.
guys. Good
Bye,
night.
guys. Thank you.